You ended up suing the NYPD in 2019 and you retired in 2021, and the lawsuit finally got settled last month.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just correct.
Can you talk about why you sued them and how the settlement came out?
Oh, we was do the bullying. Yeah, of course, bullying. I'm not gonna go into details about it. But I'll just give you, you know, the people who were involved with the case. I mean, it's not too often you get a Asian guy standing up to the NYPD like that. I mean, it's a career-ending move, so to speak. No.
So that was really difficult then, because you were still on the force for 2 more years during the time after you had initially put out the lawsuit, right?
Yeah, had a rough time. Had a rough time. But luckily I have the evidence, to prove my case. Anyway, yeah, they settled. But a lot of people involved in my case. Think about it. You have
Right
Anthony.
as the sirens go.
Yeah, let the sign go. You're gonna edit this, right?
No, I'm saying it's funny because right as the sirens are going, it's a
Yeah.
coincidence at the same time. But yeah, from what I understand, there's a lot of people involved in some dirty shit.
Yeah. So think about the people who were involved in my case. You have Anthony Carrero. Now, he was recently arrested for the PPP fraud. Recently. Then you have Rohel Khalid, right? A detective who worked in my office. Like, these are the guys who work in my office. And he was a suspect in a more than a decade-old homicide before he was a cop. So now they're looking into that. All right. Then you have William Gray, and you have the detective, and you have my commanding officer. Right. These two guys were arrested for drunk driving. I mean, one of them left the scene. So Gary
And this
Caporal.
is all factual stuff
Yeah,
that
it's
has
all in the
been put
newspaper.
out there.
It's
Yeah,
all in
so
the
it's not
newspaper.
defamation or anything
No,
like that. It's just you're speaking the facts.
I'm speaking the facts. The guys I work with. Right. Gary Caporal. Right. Drunk driving. William Gray. Drunk driving. Anthony Carrero. Arrested for PPP fraud. Then you have Rohel Khalid. Right. He's a suspect right now in a decade-old homicide. Before he became a cop, he was a suspect in the homicide. Check it out. It's all in the newspaper. This is all. So you have who else? You have Yusuf Isa, right? And he got jammed up for scamming I think the tolls for $15,000 or something like that. It's in the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
You read about it in the newspaper, right? And then Elvis Melazali, you could read about him in the newspaper. There's and then you have John Dandola, the internal affairs guy who investigated my case. John Dandola, read about him in the newspaper. How he tried to block the promotion of this detective because he had a personal feud with the detective's father. So, and then you have James Cobell. Now he was the commanding officer of the EEO. And look what happened to him. Look what he was posting racist comments in a message board, and he got kicked out of the NYPD for that. Right, and that's why my case went nowhere with the EEO within the department.
And from what I understand, it was a lot of like racist language being used against other officers, basically.
Hey, not only Chinese, you guys, yeah, they would call The blacks, the enemy.
Jewish, blacks, everything pretty much.
Yep.
And also some of the cases involving minorities were closed prematurely, were shelved, like these type of things was happening, less priority.
I'm not gonna get into the details,
Mm-hmm.
but you could just use your imagination. Like I work with
Okay.
I work with these guys, so you could just use your imaginations, like the type of guys, the things that go on in the office, you know. I mean, James Dawson, right? I mean, he didn't make the papers, but the words that he used against the minorities wasn't so nice. See, what kind of person he is. You know, some racists, they just can't hide themselves. You know, it has to come out of them.
That had to be really disappointing for you to be on the job for what, 26 years, right? And for it to end this way, like this is the ending you remember versus, you know, kind of like going off into the sunset type of ending.
You know what? I don't really think about it. I just, like I said, I always push forward.
Right.
Who cares how the ending is gonna be? Right? Some people say, "Oh, I will have like a happy." Not everything ends with a happy ending. I'm just glad I'm alive. All the things I went through, nothing really phases me anymore. Right?
So it doesn't take away from the beautiful experience you had being a detective.
I have beautiful experiences with other things. What I need a beautiful experience in everything.
Just something that you dedicated your life to for so long, you know.
But it is what it is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I would still do the same thing.
So
Okay.
no regrets.
I don't regret anything I do. If I live with regret, I'll be a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I would be a mess.
So I want to transition over to this point here. When you do these podcasts and you tell these stories, you know, internally, how do you feel? Because some of the criticisms about the book that, you know, I've read is that people say that they wish there was more emotional depth and shown guilt or remorse and internal conflict instead of just describing the actual events.
This is only 300 pages. I wish I could have like 1,500 pages.
Well, were you limited to 300 pages? Could you have made it longer, or you just like conscious decision you didn't want to make it too long?
It's all up to the editor. I'll give the editor, if I give the editor 1,000 pages and he comes back with 280 pages, you know, I want to tell him to make it 800 pages. Who's gonna read an 800-page book?
Right. We are in an era now where, you know, people have shorter attention spans and everything. So it seems like for a lot of people, they believe that the book, you were getting straight to the point, straight to the stories, but not so much with the internal dialogue of how you felt.
Well, do you know how I feel?
Yeah. Well, this interview is going to really shed light on that, though, on a lot of that. So that's good.
Yeah. I keep a lot of things to myself. This is not me. This is really not me to come out and talk like this and be so public.
Right. All right. Last question, Mike. Tell us something you have never said in another interview, like a story or maybe something you left out of a story you've told.
I did something bad to a person who did something bad to my mom, and that person, yeah, and that's something I don't regret. If you ask about regret, I don't regret.
Is this related to the event when you were 4 years old?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
I was like, dang, you located that guy?
Yeah, I was a gang member. I mean, anybody can relate to it, I guess. You know, you don't have to be a gang member to relate to something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. If somebody hurt your mom, what would you do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say. She came back bruised up, and you know, that's all.
All right, Mike, I just want to thank you so much for your time, man. Is there anything else you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up?
No, that's it. I mean, hopefully, yeah, hopefully, your audience will enjoy this interview because I think this is the longest interview I've ever been on, ever, ever.
Well, we definitely had a lot to talk about, man, and a lot to unpack. But I appreciate you so much and your time.
All right, thank you for having me on.